Hello everyone, welcome to another conclusion HCM session. In this session, we are discussing about 25C in this release. So we are currently in 25C. This is the latest upgrade. On this release, what are all the new features that is available for absence management? So let's take a look at this and we'll see what feature is going to add more value. The first one is accrual recalculation triggered by HCM events. So now you could add the HCM events. So there is a place where you could add the HCM events in the absence plans. There, when you add based on the HCM events, it has to recalculate the accrual. So let's say in the past date, I'm going to make some changes on their time cards. So I'm going to switch some whatever the scheduled hours, I'm going to switch them. In this case, since the time schedule has changed, the accrual will also be impacted. So it has to recalculate. So if you attach the HCM events here, it gets recalculated by itself. If there is an absence recorded, we know in the last release, we have seen how the retroactive processing would work if there is any absence calculation. Now, if there is any change in the time card also, how the accrual would be recalculated and how the balance would be reflected based on the HCM events. So the HCM events can be created and could be tagged to the absence plan. Based on that, if it is required, it will go and recalculate the accruals. The second feature is to see the restriction rules on the absence edit. We know that once a manager or the employee, when they record an absence, it is scheduled, we should lock that absence after certain period because we cannot let them perform the edits forever. So if you want that to be enabled, we could do that in the absence setup. So we'll just go through that. So this is available in all absence patterns. So it's basically the absence type. You could see this. I'll just select existing absence. So it's a generic absence. If you see it here, here. So manager editing, employee editing. So do you want to allow it or restrict? So it is locked if completed. Once manager is completed, it should be locked. So for employee, we are not going to make any, we are not letting any restriction. That's what this absence type is saying. But this way, you could provide them the privilege to either allow them to perform this. So no editing restrictions, you can edit it forever. And when you edit, that would trigger an approval. But for manager, I say, okay, after you have completed reviewing, approving everything, it will get locked. So after you submit the absence on employee's behalf, then it gets locked. So if the absence is in progress, that is currently ongoing, then you want it to lock. So that is also the option that is available for both employee and manager. So lock completed after updates, like after time period, you could be after so many days. You would after the absence is recorded and after so many days, everything is scheduled now. And after 3 days, we are not supposed to make any changes. Yeah, so that I could do it as well. So this is what it is saying. So now manager and employee, they have some restrictions when performing some edits on the scheduled absences. Or if they have completed already, like it's a past absence. Now, are you going to allow them to still make the changes? Yes or no? You could make that through the setup. Payroll update API for disbursement. So now, like when there is a disbursement happening, if you make some changes, okay, on the plan setup, you make some changes on the disbursement. So now the one which has already moved to payroll, It's already in the payroll interface. So what is happening currently is if such thing happens, when you make some updates on the plan configuration for the disbursement, then whatever that is already moved, the transaction that is already moved to the payroll interface, that is going to get deleted and it is going to trigger a new transaction. But with this help, a payroll updater, the new API for disbursement, it is not going to delete it. You have a profile code option which you have to enable. And if you set it as yes, if you keep it as no, by default it is going to be no. If you set it as no, it's going to work the same way how it is working now. If not, if you say no, then only the update details would be transferred to the payroll entities. So it's not going to delete the previous details that is moved for the disbursement. So it is going to, the updated details is going to be calculated based on the plan setup that you have made the changes on. Okay. Now, in the previous features, we have seen how the compensatory plan is actually created. I mean, it can be loaded to HDL. The HDL support is available for compensatory. Now, even for disbursement, it is supported. So if you wanted to make any compensatory disbursement details to be uploaded through HDL, we could use the HDL and upload the details. So how it is going to take the details is, if there is any compensatory balances which is about to expire, then that gets disbursed first because after it gets expired, you would not be able to do anything. So if it is about to expire, if it is the due date is nearing, then it's going to disburse them first. And then the other disbursements, like how it is recorded, how the like in the first place, how did they got compensatory based on that transaction? They first in first come, first in first out. So that is what it is going to FIFO is. So based on the expiration order, it is going to disperse those other compensatory balances. The next thing is transfer between same category front-loaded plans. So earlier you had this transfer options only for the incremental plan. Okay. Now we have this transfer option even for the front-loaded plans. If there is any, let's say, for a front-loaded for a year repeating period, so every absence is already accumulated at the beginning of the repeating period or the payroll frequency. So now the person has got a transfer to another legal employer in the middle. So rather letting that go wasted because always while that's how it was for the front loaded, you were not able to transfer the balance. But going forward, you will be able to transfer the balance even for the front loaded plan. I choose a front loaded plan. Let here that you see if the transfer balance is available for front loaded transfer. Okay, for termination, it is not there within the same legal employer, and if it is going outside same legal employer, it's the same plan or same plan category. Then you could actually choose even for the front loaded. That's what this feature says. For even the front loaded method, also the accrual method, now we could choose to transfer the balance if it is in the same category. It's within the same absence plan or the plan which is having the same category. You have to create a category, and if that is of the same category, then you can transfer the balance. Okay. So now the next thing that we have is unpaid break deduction for shifts that promise the midnight. So now it is supporting even the shift that crosses the midnight. Earlier, it was not supporting. If there is any in the earlier release or the previous release, we were able to remove the unpaid paid deduction from the absence pattern. If there is any break time that was associated with the pattern along with the shifts. Now, if there is any work shift and when the work shift is attached to the pattern, if you create a break duration, and if this shift is spanning between 2 days, that is, it's going around in the midnight, and it is in 2 days actually. In that case, it was not supporting earlier, whereas in this release, it has got supported for even that as well. Now, absence reasons. This is the setup page. In the absence reasons, you could upgrade that to a Redwood as well. So it's available in the Redwood. For that, you have to enable this profile port. Now let's see. Not sure if that is already enabled. Let's go and check. For this, I'll go back to the absences. Absence reasons. So now it's not in Redwood, but if you go and enable this, let's go to the profile values and see if we have this profile value and if we can enable them. So look for the reason here. So value, this is what it is. Set as no. I will set it as yes. Save and close. And I'll log out once in that. So yes, absences. Absence reason setup. It's still working Redwood. Probably it's going to take a little time. And I'm also not sure if my instance is updated with the new release or not. So, well, anyway, this is the setup page where it is going to be. There isn't any additional features that you're going to see in the setup. It's almost the same what you're seeing. It's the same. There is nothing like them because that saying that there is something new that is found on the absence tracing setup. But if you enable, you get the modern the Redwood UI. Okay. And the next thing is absence cases. We have already discussed about the absence cases. When we discuss creating an absence cases, you could even select the legislative data group. That's what it is saying. But the localization details as well could be provided when creating a category and the absent cases. So this way, while for the reporting purpose, it's going to be very useful. So there are such requirements where you wanted to fetch the absence legislation information along with the absence cases, so that this information could be passed to the required authorities if that absences is uh, it belongs to certain categories like illness, if you want to record them, or for example, COVID. So these absences has to be recorded to the government. So in such cases, you could make use of this localization details as well. Uh, for the reporting purposes while you send out the details about the absence cases. So this was about the absence management features. We have some features available for AI agents as well. But before we discuss about it, let's get some introduction about what AI agents in the future sessions. So we have on this release, we have got a couple of like additional things that they have released as part of AI agents. That we will take a look once we are familiar with the AI engines. Hope all that we have discussed as part of the new features from 24A until 25C is going to be helpful, and it is going to make you aware about what new things has come in the Oracle system for the absence management. So I'll come back with another interesting session. Until then, bye.